Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So today I'm going to do something just a little bit different. What I did over here is I made a collage based on a shape, and I just wanted it to be pleasing to my eye. I wasn't thinking about anything else. I wasn't thinking about color. I wasn't thinking about, where am I going to put my figures. I just none of that came into play. And when you start off your first layers in this way, what it does is it helps you. It's kind of like a cheat code that if you make a pleasing design to your eye, to your visual language, then whatever you put on top of it, it's just going to magnify that design that you initially laid out. So I'm going to try to explain this in kind of a different way, other than words. So what I did is, well, first of all, I'm using watercolor paper, but you can use any paper that you have. I actually ran out of my Bristol paper, my pads. I've just been using them up so much. So I just used watercolor paper, and basically all I did is I made a design. It wasn't anything elaborate at all. It was just a very, like I just took my blue Stabilo, and you can still see the Stabilo marks over here and over here. And what I did is I just kind of made a kind of a design like so. It was something like that. And this is a very generic kind of a design. It's actually in the shape of a cross if you look at it closely, and a lot of paintings have this design. It's just a very dynamic design. Now, I didn't put the cross, I didn't put it like in the middle of the page, although I have seen a lot of paintings that do this, but I just moved it up. And I kind of tilted it a little bit so my lines are diagonal. And then when I liked that basic composition, I made some other shapes over here, like so I went like so and like so and like so. That is just a very basic design composition. Now, another reason to work in this way is you are going to strengthen your visual language. And I talk about that in a lot of my videos, but when you do all of these different things like creating first layers, using collage, using composition, using this, that, and the other, all of these different videos, what you're doing is you're building up your skills, and you're kind of building up a library of sorts of what you like, what is pleasing to your eye, because what you like is probably going to be very different than what somebody else likes. Like, everybody is very different, but there are some forms, some compositions that are appealing to everybody. It's cross-culturally, it's it's just a universal kind of appeal, and why that is, I don't know, but the cross is one of those. And I think it's just because it's interesting, but it's also stable. But anyways, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of rambling on. So all I did was I made my design with my Stabilo, and then I just laid some collage. So I used dictionary pages, and then on top of the dictionary pages, I put my tea bags over here and over here. And then I just used my handmade collage. And I didn't, like, I wasn't even looking at colors or anything. I just grabbed what kind of, I said, oh, okay, whatever. And I just put it down there. So like I said, I wasn't even looking at, now I'm kind of thinking more about color and stuff like that. But, when I initially laid it down, I was just simply getting stuff on the page. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to sketch in my figures, and let us see what we are going to do. Now already this shape over here, which I didn't put it down intentionally, like I just grabbed whatever was on the table, like I just said, but right away I'm seeing, okay, that can be a sun sort of situation. And this can be like, you know, the hair of a lady. And that's another good reason for just putting things down without thinking about it, is now you are forced to be creative to look and see what you can turn into things in your painting. So I'm just going to follow this kind of shape right here. And I actually really like this, the way that's going to be the hair. So let's see here. And I think I want her to be kind of like, I'm already telling a story in my head. So I think I want her to be like facing this way a little bit, and I want her eye to be looking this way, just, you know, for interest, I guess. And I'm kind of feeling it. So I'm gonna go with like a robed figure. And I have been working in Connie's Painting the Feminine, so I'm very influenced by her like figures that have robes. They're all wearing robes, and I like that. So okay, and now I'm gonna see like, what can I do over here? And I think I am going to, I don't know what to make this. Like, I could make it, I don't know. Let me see here. This is gonna be a difficult one, but I'm gonna be forced to be creative. So I think I'm gonna turn it into like her, this is gonna be difficult, because if I turn this into her dress, I'm not gonna have any room to put her face. So I think what I'm gonna do is I am going to, I'm gonna put like, I'm gonna put a face here. And this is gonna be like a weird kind of a figure, but I'm just gonna go with it, you guys. I'm just gonna kind of see what happens. Now I want to retain that part. So this is really bugging me now. I don't know what to do with this. So I think what I'm gonna do is that's not gonna work. I think I'm gonna give her a halo. I don't know, you guys, but this is what I mean. And whereas this kind of fell into place with the sun, and I can turn this into her hair, this one is a little more challenging. But the challenge is what is going to make me think outside the box. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it for now. I'm just gonna kind of let it alone and let it work itself out. And I'm just gonna work on the faces here. So I'm just gonna build up my page like I would any other, and I might actually leave some of the white that's already on the page. I'm kind of feeling it. And I think what I might do, you guys, is I might turn this into a cover for an art journal. I'm just kind of getting that idea. I don't know, I'm feeling it. I've actually been looking at a few magazines like Somerset Studio and Art Journaling magazine, and I've seen some really interesting ways to make books, like an art journal, and I think I'm gonna maybe step outside my comfort zone and do something like a project. I don't know, but I think that this would be a good cover. I don't know. I don't know, because I wouldn't want to rip it up in the middle. I don't know. You guys, I'm just thinking out loud, but it's okay. That's part of the creative process, that we just try out lots of different things. I still might make my books, my projects that I've been thinking about, but maybe I don't want to split this painting up in the middle here. And I think I'm going to like fill this in with red. It actually turned out to be an orangey red. And I want to go like so. Okay, you guys, this is really bugging me. I don't know what to do with this piece over here. I want to keep it. I don't want to cover it up, but I might have to cover it up. So can you see how, even though I put my figures on here, the initial design that was on here is really holding this piece together, and it's making it really dynamic. And I don't have to do much. I really don't. I can leave this blank even. I don't have to do anything to it. And it's going to still retain its dynamic quality. And that's what I mean about composition, using it in the beginning. Like, I could have put a still life on this. I could have drawn like a bowl and an apple and a bottle or something like that. I could have done a still life on this and it would still be dynamic, because the composition that was, you know, holding it together was a dynamic composition. And this is a really great way to work. It forces you to think outside the box, for one thing, and also, like I said, it gives you, like, it's like a cheat code. I hope I'm making sense, and I hope I'm explaining this correctly. And you can look at it like just a fun project and try out a lot of different compositions. And you can actually, I have a book on composition. I have a couple of books, a few books on composition, I think, but you can even just get online and you can look at different compositions and then copy them. This one here, the cross one, is just a very common one, and it's used over and over and over again in paintings. And I think I'm just going to kind of go like so. So you guys, I might have to cover this up. It's really bothering me because I want to keep it, but I'm probably going to have to cover it up here, because I'm not going to be able to keep it. This little piece right here. Okay, you guys, I am going to allow this to completely dry, and then if there's any interest, you guys can let me know, and I will do another video where once it's dry, I'll come back in. But the whole purpose of this video was to demonstrate how using a compositional element in the beginning can undergird your painting no matter what you put on top of it. And it literally is like a cheat code to make a painting that is interesting no matter what I put on top of it. No matter, you know, I could put a still life, I could put a landscape, I could put figures, I could do an abstract, but it's going to be the composition that is going to hold it together. So if you've watched all the way to the end, you guys, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.